Do you know why was I able to go from someone who didn't even graduate from middle school with no education, no connections, no resources, starting from the very bottom of society, truly from being a migrant worker to where I am today? Do you know why that is? I always treat every person who appears in my life with kindness and good intentions. Even if the world betrays me, I will never betray the world. I remember the first time I came to Shenzhen to look for a job, I was just 17 years old. I actually had a few thousand yuan on me at the time, which I had earned working as a salesperson in Zhengzhou. But after I arrived in Shenzhen, I found that the hotels here were especially expensive. Each one cost several hundred yuan. I couldn't bear to spend that much on a hotel, so I slept in a park. Later, the security guard wouldn't let us sleep there, saying it wasn't safe and chased me away. In the end, I found an ATM booth and spent the night there. The next day, I went to the job market to look for work. To be honest, while hotels in Shenzhen are expensive, you can actually find ones for around 200 yuan. There were 3 of us, so if you split it, it would only be a few dozen yuan per person. But just to save those few dozen yuan, I would rather sleep on the street. However, when I walked to the job market, I suddenly saw a child. The child was using chalk to write a few words on the ground, saying, "I lost my wallet, I can't go home. Is there any kind person who can lend me 50 yuan?" Without saying a word, I took out 50 yuan and gave it to him. At that time, 50 yuan was a huge amount of money. My companion said, "He must be a scammer." I said, "But what if he's telling the truth?" So I gave him 50 yuan. After I gave him the money, the next day I found that he was still there doing the same thing. Then my buddies were like, "See, didn't we tell you? You got scammed, didn't you?" I was really angry too. I couldn't even bring myself to spend that 50 yuan at a 10 yuan store, but I gave it to you and you guys still tricked me? I was furious. Back then I was young and hot-headed, so I rushed back to confront him. I said, "Didn't you say you were short 50 yuan? I gave you 50 yuan, so why are you still here? Are you a scammer?" He said, "Don't get upset. Let me explain to you. Don't worry. Actually, I was short 100, but I was afraid that if I wrote 100, no one would give it to me. If I had 100 yuan, I would have gone home long ago." After he said that, he started to cry. When I saw that, I thought it was just too pitiful, so I gave him another 50. But on the 3rd day, I found out he was still there. I left. In 2020, during the pandemic, my varicose veins flared up, and it was extremely painful. Coincidentally, the father of one of my senior executives also fell ill, so I went to see that miracle doctor I know in Beijing. Then, I stayed at the Shiwan of my sworn big brother, teacher Yan Tao, and it just so happened that I met him there. As soon as he recognized me, he told me he had never watched short videos before. A newlywed couple had a little girl. The girl was especially adorable, but she was born with cancer. After undergoing radiation and chemotherapy, even her ribs were reduced to just 2, but she still wasn't cured. This time, her illness relapsed, so they came to Beijing. I said, "If by chance they're willing to take the case, I'll introduce you." He didn't say anything, so I went to find my senior brother to register for an appointment. At the time, I was sitting on the sofa because I was in so much pain I couldn't stand it. Whenever I stood up, my varicose veins would hurt, so I just sat there. I talked to my senior brother and said, "Aren't we registered for 2 appointments tomorrow? One for me and one for my boss's father, right?" I said, "Senior brother, can we add one more?" He said, "No, that's not possible." After this round of free clinics during the pandemic, we haven't had a break for half a year. And my own health isn't good either. We really can't add another one. I said, "Take a look at this little girl. What do you think? Do you feel any connection with her?" As soon as he saw her, he said, "Wow, she's so beautiful, like a porcelain doll." I said, "She has a congenital cancer. Is there any way we can help her?" He said, "This really won't work. The master is fully booked. If it weren't for you coming, the master has already refused to take any new patients for a month. Tomorrow, it's just the 2 of you. I really have no other way." The next second, you know what? I jumped up from the sofa and said, "Hey, senior brother, hey, I'm cured." He said, "Stop messing around." I said, "I'm really better. It doesn't hurt anymore. How about this? I'll give my appointment to him." Then you see the parents, and this is a red envelope. Actually, both of these are from me. I said, "Tomorrow, just tell the master that I'm better." He said, "All right, you're not joking, are you?" I said, "Really, I'm really better." After I got back, I told him, "If you think it's okay, then take a look. If you don't think it's okay, you can leave. But if you accept it and they treat you, you should at least show some appreciation." But I was still worried he wouldn't, so I went ahead and showed my appreciation in advance, actually. I said, "But when you get back, let me know." I waited for him at home the whole day, all the way until 12:30 at night. Actually, he came back a little after 9, but he didn't talk to me. The next morning, I had 2 assistants with me. That day one was teacher Wansong, and the other was teacher Qining. They saw me rolling around on his bed with a piece of paper, and they were extremely angry. Even teacher Wansong, who has such a good temper, lost his temper and said, "Why are you helping someone who doesn't trust you?" Teacher Qining wanted to go hit him, I said, "What are you 2 doing? What are you doing?" I told them, "I met this little girl once by chance. If this action can help her, then I've helped her, maybe even saved a life. But if I can't help her, at least my conscience is clear. If today, by chance, I could have helped her but didn't, I would regret it for the rest of my life. I can't let that happen, because it has happened before." Once I was lecturing in Suzhou. Wansong got me a train ticket. At the high-speed rail station, I wore headphones preparing for class. I just eaten when a tall guy, about 1.85 meters, talked to me for a while. I didn't hear him at all. Later, taking off my headphones, I caught one sentence. If you're going to give it, then give it. If not, forget it. Don't pretend you didn't hear me. It was only then that I realized he was there to beg for money. I thought to myself, how can a beggar be so aggressive? But then I figured, whatever, I'll just give it to him. I only had 500 yuan in my pocket, so I gave him the 500. The next second, the contrast was huge. A big, fierce-looking guy, about 1.85 meters tall, with a chubby face and big ears, suddenly dropped to his knees with a thud. He knelt down in front of me and said, "May good people have a peaceful life. My child at home has leukemia. We've lost our house, lost our car, and I've lost my job too. If I had any other way, I would never come here to beg. Thank you. May good people have a peaceful life." I was stunned, really shocked by him. The contrast before and after was just too much. I hesitated for about 30 seconds and then suddenly remembered I could give him even more. I immediately rushed over to look for him. I couldn't find him. I searched the entire train station but couldn't find him. I felt extremely upset and in pain. So what I really want to tell everyone here today is this. Please don't leave any regrets in your life. Have you ever had this kind of experience? You clearly see a beggar and you feel sorry for them. You really want to give something, but you're afraid. What will others think of me? It might look like I'm just putting on a show. So you keep walking and walk past them, but actually you feel really bad inside. Haven't you ever wanted to not leave any regrets in your life? I want to tell everyone here today, do you know why I live so happily? Why I feel so at ease with myself? Even though so many people online criticize me and attack me, why am I still so at peace with myself? Do you know why? Because I know exactly what I'm doing. Because everything I do, I have a clear conscience. Do your best and leave the rest to fate. Whatever I do, I always give it my all. But I don't worry about the outcome, because the outcome is up to heaven. Guess what? When I was attacked online, I contacted our lawyer. I gathered our PR team responsible for handling public opinion and press releases, and I held a meeting with them. Can you guess what kind of meeting I held? I told them, when you write articles now, don't attack those people. Instead, write about how many people have died because of cyberbullying, how many have been harmed by it. Doing such things carries a heavy burden and karmic consequence. Through our experience, we want to awaken more people so they are no longer victims of online abuse. And so more people stop doing these harmful things. You know, after I finished saying this, my staff were moved to tears. They said, after all the mud they've slung at us, after insulting you like this, you still want to help them, still have hope for them. I said, that's right. Yes. Like Fat Rabbit and the others. Do you know what my life motto is? No matter how many times the world mistreats me, I treat the world as if it's my first love. Let everyone in the world wrong me, but I will never wrong the world. There was a time when my teacher, because I also have a master, a truly remarkable practitioner, he once asked me a question. He said, "Wenqiang, you have many outstanding qualities. That's why I was willing to teach you the ways of cultivation. You're motivated, filial, ambitious, intelligent, and hardworking. You're kind, you're good, and you have a remarkable ability to adapt. You possess unique talents. These are all your excellent qualities. Today, as your teacher, I want to ask you a question. Suppose, if you had to pass on your 3 most important qualities as family treasures to your son, which 3 would you choose?" After I answered, he followed up with, "If you could only choose one, which would it be? Is it ambition? Is it determination? Is it a love of learning?" I thought about it for a long time. I said, kindness. When you are able to treat the world with love, the world will surely respond to you with love. If you treat the world kindly, the world will certainly treat you kindly. Because when you one day awaken, you will realize that all things are one with you. Do you know what my favorite poem is? Dwelling deep in the snowy woods, unlike the peach and plum trees mingling in the fragrant dust, I hope to become that white plum blossom in winter. Not competing with the peach, apricot, or plum blossoms for beauty. Just blooming alone on the icy glaciers and snowy clouds of winter. Dwelling deep in the snowy woods all my life, never mingling with the peach and plum trees. Suddenly one night, a pure fragrance spreads, bringing spring to the world for thousands of miles. I believe that one day the world will give me a fair chance. It might not happen while I'm alive, but that's okay. Hey, let me ask you, did Confucius have a good reputation while he was alive? At 15, Wang Yangming said, "I want to establish a heart for heaven and earth, seek life for the people, continue the lost teachings of past sages, and bring peace to all generations." Everyone ridiculed him for it, but that didn't stop him from becoming a sage 500 years later. So I don't care how the world sees me. I only care about how I see myself. Do you know that every time I read the ancient Chinese classics, I am moved to tears? Countless experts and scholars here praise Confucius, praise Laozi, praise Wang Yangming. But do you know how I feel after reading them? At this very moment, I want to pay the highest tribute to all those throughout history who risked their lives to spread the truth, because I am doing the same thing as they did. Life holds no particular joy, nor does death hold particular pain. When it is time to live, I live. When it is time to die, I die. I will speak out. This is my mission. If I am not allowed to speak, I would rather die right now. Confucius once had a conversation with his mentor Laozi. Laozi said, Kong Qiu, the world is in chaos. The order of the land is in disarray. Are you sure you still want to walk your path in the world of men? Why not, like me, retreat into the mountains and wait for peace to return to the world before coming back down to teach? Confucius replied, Master, some things must be done by someone. Your way is in the heavens, but my way is among people.